Hi again, welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be servicing a Briggs Stratton 3.5 horsepower horizontal shaft engine. It's an older type Briggs Stratton engine which has the Pulsa jet carburetor fitted, so that's going to be my main focus in the video, servicing the carburetor and cleaning out the fuel tank. So I'll be taking the carburetor off along with the tank and then splitting them, cleaning everything, and then fitting a new diaphragm in the carburetor, and there's a central gasket as well between the tank and the carburetor. I'll be replacing that as well, cleaning anything else up along the way. So also I'll be fitting a new spark plug and a new air filter. So yeah, this engine should be good. I thought before it was run a little bit lumpy, so hopefully this will improve the running of it. They never run the smoothest, these old engines anyway. They seem to run nice under load, but when they're sort of run not under load, they don't seem to run quite as smooth. So as long as I improve it, I'll be happy. So before I start though, if this is the first time you've been to my channel, please subscribe and like. It'll help my channel grow. And yeah, we might as well get on to this Briggs & Stratton engine and see if we can make it just run that bit smoother. So we better get on with that now. Today in front of the camera is a little Briggs & Stratton 3.5 horsepower engine, which I'm going to, well, I want to replace the diaphragm in there and give the tank a clean out. It does run, I just don't think it runs quite as smooth as it should. So part of the service, I'm going to put a new plug in it, which is just at a shop, change oil, air filter, and I'm going to clean the carb out and replace that diaphragm in there. So that means the carb and the tank and everything's got to come off. So firstly, I'm just going to undo that bolt and the one on the other side, take out the air filter. That's easy to do. You can't see the other one the other side, but it's not going to take me long to do that. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I just need to get the part ordered to get it done. It's actually got a really nice air filter in it already, but I think it actually had been serviced and not really used. I think it's just been sitting around for the last year or so. Yeah, so we'll just unscrew them for there. So we can get that little air filter housing, plate bit, or whatever you want to call it. That's all it is. There's a gasket under there. So just put that on the bench, and now we're to all the bits and pieces. I'll just bring you over a little bit, bring you down a little bit. So I want to undo them, but the tank will be held on with a bracket, which I think will be underneath. Yep, there's a 10mm underneath. I won't show you that, it's obvious where it is. It's right at the bottom on like a bracket. I'll undo that now. So done. So yeah, they've got to have to be undone. Just got to remember the configuration of the bits and pieces, like the springs and the rods and what have you. They're always a bit difficult to get a tool in there. That one's easy enough. So one right under there, which is more difficult. So what I'm going to do is undo that one first. Should be able to get this one should be pretty easy actually. Just get the Torx, if it's that size, in there like so. Is it the right side? Yep. So just get that undone. That one is easy. It's the one underneath that's right behind there. So I will have to rearrange a camera and that to do that. So we've got that out. So we turn around now. I think I can probably struggle with a 10mm spanner in there and get that undone. It's going to take me a little while, so if I just make a start, then I'll probably come back to you when I've done it. Got the open ender in there at the end of the minute. I might be better off. Is that undone? Yeah, it has. Got the ring end in there now. That's working better. Yeah, it's going to take me a little while because I'm just doing little turns at a time. So I'll do that and I'll be back with you when I got that out. It's just come out that bolt now. It took a little while, but it wasn't too bad. So now we can take that off like that. I think we're basically disconnected then. And there's one more. There's a wire. That spring there, I think it's falling around a bit. That goes onto there. So that's done. It's just this stop wire I've got to take off, which shouldn't be hard. Yep, that's off. So now the whole carburettor's off. I'll get that, well, and tank and everything, and all the mechanism for the throttle and everything. I'll get all that on the bench and we'll give it a good clean down, drain the fuel, and I'll get them diaphragms out and anything else I may need. I think that's okay. The main gasket onto there is okay. So yeah, we'll get that all cleaned up and sorted, ready to go back on this machine. So now I'm gonna take this all apart really. I'm gonna take the carburetor off, maybe the mechanism, depends whether I need to or not. That's got to come undone for a start. So I'll take that pipe off and that little rubber pipe. Okay, that's undone. I've drained the fuel. It was a bit rusty in there. I might give the tank a rattle around with some bolts in there just to clean it up a little bit. Not really bad, but just see if I can just get it a little bit cleaner. So we've got that, the little bracket that holds that metal pipe on. The metal pipe just pull off with that rubber one that goes onto there. So that's all done. I've got to where I could actually look at the diaphragm now, but I'm tempted just to take it all off now and then just clean everything down really. So let's see if we can undo that in there. There's another one there as well. We'll just loosen that. Come off. I might as well give everything a real good clean down while I'm at it. I'll make it as good as it can sort of be. I do think this is another machine that has been sitting around a long time. So let's see what happens now. I've got a funny feeling there is one more bolt, but there is. It's under there. Knew there was another one somewhere. Might have to take that bit off as well because that's sort of fitting underneath. This part is fitting underneath some bits of that part, but what I'll do, I'll just get them little bolts out and we might slide out, but I doubt it. I've had these apart before, but I just forget now, it's been so long. Generally work on these too much. It's more sort of mowers, rotary type mowers, vertical shafts. Am I going to be able to do that? I'm just going to be able to prise that bit up a little bit. No, I think that bit may have to come off. Well, I can get down there for a start. There's a, I'll go through that hole, little access hole in there. Try and do that. Might only be one. I think there is. That'll make it a lot easier anyway. Yeah, it'll all come off together now. So there we go. Hopefully I'll save the gasket. I don't particularly want to buy a new top gasket if I don't have to. Sort of steer that out there a little bit. I'm sure it'll come. There we go. It's come now. Yeah, a bit grubby, but it's not too bad. So I actually decided to take the gasket off, and it isn't brilliant. Might just see if I can order one of them. As I'm ordering the diaphragm anyway, might as well get one of them. We did have that rod in there, and I can't remember which one it went in. I hope I can look back on the video for that, but it went in one of them. Which way would it have gone? Not sure now. Anyway, we'll work that out when it goes back on. I didn't want to drop that out there, but I have, so I can't do much about that now. I've dropped out the other side as well. So yeah, we'll sort that out anyway. It did go in there, definitely went in there, so we can sort that out. So now we're on this bit. I can take that off, give that a clean out. It's not too bad anyway. Don't know whether this comes off on here. I'm not going to overdo it because if it doesn't want to come off, something's turning. But if it doesn't want to come off, I'm just going to Just going to clean through it because I don't want to break it. Yeah, I'm not too happy how that's feeling, so yeah, I'll just blast through there the best I can. The rest is pretty straightforward actually. Just do that. That's like where the choke works. It's all pretty clean, and I'm just going to undo them little screws there to take that diaphragm bit off. So to hold this on, this sort of plate that covers the diaphragm, it's just a Torx driver thing. And then I'll just, well, I might be able to do it up here so you can see better. Where are we? Undo them 4. 1. 2. Hold it in place because I don't want it all dropping out, so see how everything goes. I think there's a spring in there. Let's just put that there now. You're in shot okay, so we'll take that off. Is there a spring in there? Well, there we've just got the top plate. There we've got diaphragm, and there is a spring in there. That isn't great, that diaphragm, but see, we've got the spring in there like so. So there isn't a gasket or anything, they're just that, and that's what I wanted out. So I can get that matched up with one, then get one ordered. Then I can get it back together, and I know it's got a new one in. It actually weren't that bad, I don't think, but yeah, I like to replace them. If I'm selling the machine, I like to know it's got a new one in, and I'll try my best to get a genuine one. So welcome back. It's a few days on now. Some parts have come. Well, all the parts I need have come actually. That is a gasket between the carburetor and the tank, so I'll have that. I actually doubled up on that. I bought 2 of them, so I got a spare because they were cheap. Same with this, I bought 2 of these as well. Diaphragm, so I got that as well, and I got a new spark plug. The air filter was okay anyway, but I have got new ones of them anyway, so I'll decide whether I use the old one or whether I get a brand new one out of the sealed packet. That's what I'll probably do. Since the last video, I did actually clean the carb. When I've got this carb back off, because what I did, I basically put it all back together so I didn't lose parts, because it's been might have been the best part of a week now. So off camera, I'll take that back apart again, and then we'll get everything fitted. I'll show you how I cleaned the carb and where I used the carb spray, and yeah, it's pretty simple carb, there's not much to it anyway, but I'll show you that so you'll know what to do. Yeah, basically it's like any other carb, you just got to make sure it's clean and all the little holes in that are all clean, and yeah, that's it really. So yeah, when that's off, I'll show you anyway, and we'll get it fitted back together. Oh, and also I did clean the tank out a little bit. I just put some of the petrol back in and put some nuts, well, a handful of nuts in there, and shook it around. I'm not massively impressed, but it's still a bit spotty on the bottom of the tank, but it's not too bad. I did shake it around for quite a while, and as best I could get it, but the petrol did come out rusty looking, so it must have done some good. My preferred way to clean the tank out is to use brick acid, hydrochloric, brick cleaner, hydrochloric acid, but with this I wasn't going to go there, because then only thing is, once you use the acid, it takes any sort of factory coating off of the tank, so then the tank will rust quicker if it's got no fuel in it. So with this, I didn't want to do that. If it was one of my mopeds or projects, then I seal the tank with some tank sealer, but I didn't want to go that way on this. So I think that's good enough. It's better than it was, so I'm going to leave it like that. So yeah, I'll be back with you in a second when I've got all this off. So now I've got the carb off of the tank. I have just cleaned that and put that back on, but I will take that back off quickly because I'll just show you the hole in there that I blasted through with the carb spray. I use carb spray, whatever you use. Yeah, just blasted through there. I never took that off because I had a job getting it off actually, so I didn't want to break it, so I just blowed through there that way, and also I think, oh wait a minute, I'm just don't want to drop my spring out. That's the bit where the diaphragm fits. So what you got in there, you got that spring like that, and then that goes on the top. And then I blew through, I think it was there, yeah, it was there, to clear out the pipe from the top, and then just every other little hole you see really. And then that little jet come out, and it was one of them ones where you blow in at the end and it comes out both sides. I did that as well, so that's all been cleaned out. Not really much to these, but it's had a good clean, and that's ready to put back on. So I'll, yeah, just get that diaphragm fitted in first. So yeah, as I said, the spring goes in first, and then there's that little piece on top, and that just stops it, I suppose, from digging in the material of the diaphragm. I'll just get that out of there. They were meant to be genuine, didn't come in a genuine pack though, but they look good quality, so yeah, I'm happy with that, because I do believe some companies say genuine and then you don't get it. I am glad I took it in the house, the old one, to match up, because that bit there was different. I don't know whether it made any difference or not, because there isn't a bolt that goes through there, but I wanted to put the one on it that was exactly the same as the one I took off of it. So I'll just check that spring is right still. Yep, that's all good. And then we'll just, there is a little, I think it's a little roll pin in there. That just sort of holds it in place, that part. There we go. So I've got these 4 little bolts. I've just rested the new gasket on there. This is the gasket between the tank and the carburettor, and I've just put a screw that side. I don't believe that's going to interfere with anything putting it on, because that's the screw hole that holds the mechanism on for your choke and everything. So I'm hoping that this will go in like that, and then I can screw this up, and then I'll put the other bit on afterwards. So it's just a matter of putting that in there like so. And there is like a little pin that goes through, so that's a bit of a locator as well, so your holes are all sort of in line, which they are. I've got one long screw there. The long screw fits underneath there, and I will only go quite loosely on them for a start until I've got them all in. And then when they're all in, we can go for the full tighten up then. That one will hold that in there quite nicely. There's one here, just down there. Remember, that's the one that that pipe has to, that little bracket of that pipe goes like that. And then that rubber bit goes on there, so you can sort of hold it all together and do it all together. So I'll just get that one screwed up. I believe there's 2 more, but one of that one can actually come out now. Yeah, I'll use I'll use that one in there. I can use that one in there. I think they're the same. Yeah, they were. So they're all in line nicely. I did sort of work out where that rod fell off. So I worked it out that it was on the highest one on there. Still a screw in there. I'll tell that at the moment. I'm just going to double check that that was done up tightly there. Yes, it was. A little jet I mentioned. Yeah, that's a choke, so that will be the bottom, that one there. So and then that just overlaps the top of the carb where that last bolt has to go in. Might have to just adjust the lever a bit just so the hole's right down in there. It's a bit tricky to get that one in there. It's when you could do with a magnetic screwdriver, and I haven't got one of them at the minute. So what I'm going to do, just do it like that, just so I get a start in there. I'll try to anyway. Yeah, that's right, it's in there. Didn't actually make these carbs and everything the easiest. Briggs Stratton didn't, but it was a successful setup. Just a bit fiddly. And then I've got to find where that hole was in there, which I've lost at the moment. Ah, there it was. Yeah, that's going in. So they're all reasonably tight. I will get them done fully in a minute, but let's see if the choke works. You can see the choke totally open there. Actually, I will fully tighten that one. Just bear with us a second. Because it all holds tight on there, so the mechanism to be sort of solid in place. So if you see it there, that's run. Yeah, so that's it open, and that's the choke closed. I'm beginning to wonder I've put that on the wrong one, I think, because I'm not all the way back there. So a little error there from me, so that's going to have to come back off annoyingly, because I don't think there's any other way around it. So yeah, just let me do it off camera. I should have, when it fell off, I thought I worked out which one it was, and it wasn't. It's going to be that one there, not that one there. Just an error. I should look back on the video in the first place when I taken it apart, but I'll just sort out that and be back with you when I've done it. So yeah, that was a little error. It's all good now. So yeah, you can see now that's fully open there, the choke, and that lever's right over. If I go right over that way, shut. So that's all performing okay. I know that that hole there is where the governor spring goes to, so got to remember that. Only thing I have to do then is change the spark plug which there's a new one. The air filter, which like I said, it looked really good. It's a little bit yellow, so I might just put a fresh new one in, just so it doesn't look yellow. But that actually is a genuine one in there, so I might just as well to use that. I'll see, I'll decide. You can see it's as new. I think that's just stained a little bit through being stored really. I don't think the machine's run a lot in the last year or so. And the other thing is an oil change. I think the oil's pretty clean as well, but I shall just obviously change it because I'm giving the thing a full service, so it can be as good as it can possibly be really, the engine. So now I'm ready to put the tank and the car back on. As you saw, they're combined together. That rod goes into that hole there. There, goes into there. That wire goes into there. Just push it up and it goes in there. And the spring, as I said earlier, goes onto there. I've got the gasket to put between. So I just want to make a point of how that goes in. You see there's a extra hole on it. It sits like that, yeah. So you probably can't see brilliant, the light isn't great there, but that bit goes under sort of the exhaust like that. So that's an easy way to remember that. I can balance that there at the moment. I'll get the one bolt ready because I could put the top bolt in. It's the underneath bolt I had more difficulty with. Yeah, so I can get that rod on now. I'll do that. I'll just hold out there. Just try not to get that spring and that snagged up. The wire I might be able to do in a minute. I'm going to try and just get the top bolt in there. So the gasket will go under there like so. Somewhere I've got the little bolt. Just a bit awkward, but if you persevere, you'll get there. I'm just going to get out, just start up a little bit. Can I get that under there? I'm going to worry about that wire in a minute. I'm not going to worry about that for a second. I'm going to get the spring on because I'm sure I've got enough access to put that under. I can feel it in place really, I think. I need my little pliers for that spring. Can you see where I'm at? There we go. Being a little bit fiddly. I mean, better without the pliers actually, but it's done it now. So I have got that little wire to go on. Might have been easier to do that first, but what I'll just do is bend it around and just... Actually, now I've got them two connected, what I'm going to actually do, and it will make it easier, I'm just going to take that screw back out away again, or bolt. It might actually... gasket might hold on and everything okay. And just pull that to the side and put that wire in place. I've done it. That was tricky, that bit was, to get that wire in place. Should have done it actually before I put the rod and the spring on. That would have been easier. That's got that tight. I'm just going to loosely put the one down the bottom in that holds the tank in place, but only loosely, so it just stops it moving about. And I've a little, can't quite see where I'm at, but There's that pipe there that comes off of there like so. There's another one of them type of things at the bottom where the pipe has to go into, so make sure you don't forget to do that. It has gone in, so that's all good. So basically I've got to do that bottom bolt now, really. That's about all there is to do. You can just probably see it through. Where are we? Just see it through there, right there. Very dark in there. I think I'm probably just best off doing that off camera, really, because it's going to take me a while to do that, because I've just got small movements on the spanner, and then I'll bring you back in when I do the air filter top and everything. But yeah, it's just in there where I pointed to, and it's just a bolt like that, but it's just small movements on the spanner. So I'll get that done and I'll be back with you. So the tank of the carb is back on the machine now, everything tightened. So yeah, we've done that. That back bolt down there was a little bit tricky, but this spanner did help out quite a lot because it's thin there, so that made it a little bit easier. And that's the way I always do it. But as I was tightening that up, I was thinking there are other options. That could have been took off to make it easier to get down there. There's only one bolt there and one bolt there, but then you have got to remove this. Well, you have to remove that spring anyway, but you'd have to remove that metal rod there as well. But that would actually be about it. Oh, and the wire, which would have to be removed anyway. So I'd never done it like that. I never really thought about it before, and the reason probably I hadn't done it like that is because the gasket does run under that as well, so I probably just didn't want to interfere with the gasket when I took it off. But as it's not actually part of the carb, that bolt isn't part of the actual where the carb sits, it's only that one there, so you would probably get away with taking that off without doing any harm to the gasket. But I do it the way I do it, is because I've only got one bolt there to do, one bolt down there to do, and the one on the bottom of the tank, the bracket that holds to the bottom of the engine. So it's only 3 bolts I have to undo and remove that rod, spring and the wire. But let me know if you how you do it, because it's the same process on most of these type of older Briggs and Stratton engines, whatever horsepower, you know, especially sort of probably 5 horsepower and under. It's much the same setup. Even some of the bigger ones, I think, it's much the same setup. So let me know how you do it. I just do it that way, and I always know I've got a bit of a struggle with that bottom bolt, but just persevere and get it done, and yeah, just the way I've always done it. So yeah, I'd be interested to know how you do it. So now I'm going to get this back on. I call this air filter housing, and just make sure the gasket is in place. Put that on there and close the choke up as well, just in case you happen to drop a bolt down there. Just saves a bit of a headache. So I'm just going to use my little 1/4 inch socket. I'm out of shot there a bit. My little backhoe set. Make sure they're all tight, and they are. I'll just hold my finger over there and just give it a few little bits of in there. That'll be good enough. So now that's back on. I did get a new filter just because it looks better than that one. I'm sure that one was fine, but just because it looks nice and new. And all I've got to do now is put this back on, the cover. I have took out that pre-filter and give it a blast with the air, and that's pretty clean. I'm just going to leave that because it's okay. And then just going to put that on like so. I think the other filter was new, it was just discoloured through this being in storage. So that's all done now. All I've got to do on this now is drain the oil and put some new oil in it, and the spark plug, put the new one in it, which I've got on the bench. So I could do that now, actually get that done. Oh, a bit tight. Looked okay, but we have a nice new one to put in. Yeah, I might have said earlier, I went NGK on this one because it's a machine you see the top of the engine, and the brightest thing on there will be the spark plug because it looks nice and shiny there. So if someone looks and they know their stuff, they're going to look and think, oh, that's got an NGK in it, and it looks better. But I'd be quite happy to put a torch spark plug in it if it was mine. I was keeping it, but the machine's quite a nice machine, so I think it just deserves that extra bit of expense on it, which isn't much difference. I think an NGK is about, a torch one is about £1. You can get them for about £1. This one I think cost me £2.20, so it's not hell there really, is it? But it depends. I suppose over the year, if you were selling 200 lawnmowers and you actually went all torch, you would actually save £200, wouldn't you? But that's being a bit picky really. But I just rate torch spark plugs anyway. I think they're okay. I don't dislike them. They wouldn't be my first one if they were, say, 3 different brands were offered to me. They'd probably be the third, but I'm quite happy to put one in a machine I'm going to use or I'm going to sell, so, because I've never really had an issue with them. So but this one had an NGK for that reason I said, because look, the cover doesn't really cover much of the plug, so they'll look at it and see NGK if they know their stuff, and it just looks like it's been more professionally serviced, doesn't it? Well, I've already tested it probably about a week ago now, after refurbing the carb and everything. So I'm just gonna start it again now and see how it goes. It did take a few pulls because of the way the carburetors work on these, has to suck the fuel up, but I would imagine it will start pretty quick now. The exhaust there, stone cold. It's on choke and it's on fast. These do take a little bit of warming up. They do take a while before they run smooth. I found they're all like that. So let's just have a go.
So as you can see, it runs okay. They do take, like I said, a bit of warming up, and it is quite cold today as well. I've noticed I've got a slight drip out there. The seal on the cap can't be brilliant, but I'll have a look at that. And yeah, there was plenty of fuel in there. So yeah, it's running okay. I'm happy with that. It's better than it was. You know, it was more lumpier before I did the carburetor. Can't really do no more to it. That's much as I can really do to it, and I think that's running okay. So yeah, I'm going to consider that a done job. And the only thing I didn't show you is if you look just down, where are we? There. That's where you drain the oil and you fill it up. Over there or there. I did it there. So yeah, I did it off camera, but yeah, so what did I do to this? I did the carburetor off, I cleaned the tank, cleaned the carburetor, new gasket between, new diaphragm, cleaned everything out, new plug there, new air filter, and yeah, and the new oil as well. So yeah, that's that engine all serviced and good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be along with another video again soon. So bye for now.